Welcome back to my channel. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Brittany. This is my channel, Be the Little Light. And Happy New Year to everyone. I haven't filmed since the holidays, and I've really just been taking this time to integrate. As I'm sure everyone knows, going back to your hometown for the holidays is an initiation in itself. And there were so many messages that I had received during and after that I needed time to integrate. And I've been in hibernation mode. So I really just wanted to honor my energy and not show up when I wasn't feeling called to just yet. With that being said, I wasn't really planning on doing this video today, but I sat down to do a message for myself, pull cards for myself as I have been navigating around the energies and the collective of all the different things that are going on. And as every day I've been praying and holding the world in my heart, and always speaking life and light over the highest and greatest good of all. It's been a lot for so many people, and um, so I've been doing my best to navigate around that and stabilize myself, um, as someone who is very sensitive. Finding the balance between being compassionate and also learning the importance of regulating your nervous system is something that's been big time coming up for me in my journey, and is something that I feel that anyone who identifies as being sensitive, as being an empath, as being intuitive, as picking up on things, um, that's a message for us all. So I sat down to pull cards for myself, and it was very clear that this was not just a message for me, this was a message for all. This was the energy in the collective. And so I felt it was my duty to share the message today. So I'm just really going to give you a story play out of all the cards that I pulled. Um, and you'll have to excuse me if I'm not my, brightest, bubbly self. It's just the energy right now of this. It's a lot, and it is very heavy, and it is very serious. There's, we've really been thrusted into this year. And I just want to acknowledge how so many people are feeling. And if you are one of those people, I see you, I feel you, I love you, and I'm praying for you every day. So the first card that came up was about receiving messages from your highest self. I feel like um, right now is a time where we're really being guided and called to deepen our relationship with our highest self. It's something that I've been saying for a while on my channel. Um, asking yourself, who is my highest self? What is the highest version of me? And how can I learn from that version of me to bring the things that I'm wanting to bring into my life, into physicality? It's this growing, ever expanding relationship between you, the self, and your highest self. Right now, we are really being called to find the balance because there's so much going on. There's so many events and events. There's so many events going on that it can be very easy to get swept off, and the pendulum can come back and swing really hard, and you can get knocked off of your wave very easily. You can get knocked off of your surfboard, and there's nothing wrong with being knocked off of the surfboard. It's just at some point finding your way back on to your board, finding that balance. And that is something that we are all learning how to do right now. There's definitely this heavy emphasis on this fighting energy, um, especially since at the time that I'm filming this video, we are right in between the transfer of power, so to speak, in the United States. And that is something in itself that has brought a lot of division and a lot of division. And this is not to say who is right and who is wrong. It's an observation of the reality of what's going on. Um, we are with being at with being right in between the transfer of powers. We, whether a person agrees with it or not, likes it or not, we are going to step into a new era. We are going to step into a new time as a collective. Um, that is not something that one needs to fear. It's just something to be aware of the reality. Um, the next message that was coming up, actually, let me thank you. I knew there was something off track. So, at the bottom of this was the death card. This is message that I have been receiving a lot since right before, actually since the holidays. I've been receiving continual messages of death, grief, been getting a lot of death omens, and also is why I've been taking the time to integrate all of those messages, because it was coming at me a lot and I didn't know how they would transpire. And as events have continued to transpire, it is still a message that is continuing to come up. Death can be death in the literal sense, but at the very least, meaning an ending. And the big thing that I've been hearing over and over is the end of an era. We are at the beginning of the end, the beginning of the end of an old era. And for some people who follow certain religious or biblical scriptures, this can appear as the Armageddon times, as the literal end of the world, the time of the rapture, the time for a redemption, the time for a reckoning. And it is. It is very much that, except that there's an after that. And the after that is what is on the other side of this big giant boulder that's like blocking the sun, and we don't even realize that there's a sun on the other side of the boulder. And that represents the next era. That represents the golden age. That represents the era that we've came to co-create, to usher into. However, that period before will appear the loudest, the craziest, the most polarized, the most divisive. It will feel to many as the hardest. It will feel to many as the hardest time to be on this earth. It will translate for a lot of people as destructive, as death, as negative. And that is our opportunity to see things from a grander picture. Fires, death, crows, these things can represent death. They can also represent endings through purification. Fire represents purification, and then after the fire comes the rain. We are in that waiting period where the rain hasn't come yet, quite literally, but it's coming. It has to come, for that is the part of the process, is part of the cycle. And going into Mother Earth herself, the message that I had been receiving from her and from my guides is, whatever has transpired and whatever the actual facts of everything is, whether conscious or unconscious, intentional or unintentional, natural or unnatural, whatever is done on this earth, Mother Earth always finds a way to rebalance, to cleanse, to purify through whatever means that she, the sentient being, knows that's best for the whole, for the entire planet, not just for us as a species, but for the totality of this planet. And the reason why I want to say that, excuse me, is because so we can drop some of this fear that a lot of people are having. And while, yes, it is very important to be aware and be mindful of everything that we are doing on this earth at all times, be more intentional, yes, but also just being mindful of whatever whatever people, places, and things, and I'm speaking in code because we have to on these platforms, whatever people, places, and things do, it doesn't have to dictate your entire life and dictate how you move forward in a negative sense. I need to take a sip of water. I need to take a sip of water. This has all been coming at me really. Woo-hoo. Okay. On to the next set of messages. And we're just gonna have to roll with it because it's just not glamorous today. It's just not. This messages is just here. It's just messy. I'm just gonna give it to you how it's coming. There is a big message here around protection. Protection of your family, protection of your vision. This could represent your actual baby, but a baby could be your dreams, your hopes, your visions for a better life, for a better future, for you, for your family, for the next generations. That vision is so heavily guided and protected at all times. Do not lose your faith around that which you hold the most dear in your heart. That's your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations for yourself and for others. And for a lot of us, even the world. Those visions are protected no matter what it is that you are seeing around you. That is heavily the message I have been receiving constantly recently, is no matter what you're seeing around you, the chaos of it all, no matter what you see around you, that which you hold the most dear is so guided and so protected. You are meant to weather the storm. You are meant to weather the storm. You were meant to, you have always, your DNA, how you were made, literally, it is in your DNA to be able to withstand these times. Even when you feel that you can't and you can't go on any longer and it's too much and there's too much chaos, you were literally built for this time on this planet. Your frequency, the light that you carry within your DNA, within your being, within your essence, you were built for this. There is a big emphasis here on observing from afar, observing things from afar. Now, this does not mean we can't be compassionate and we can't give to others. Yes, when you are feeling called to do so and you have the means to do so, please do so. And even if you don't have physical resources to give, being there for people emotionally, prayers are a very real thing. No matter what people tell you, yes, action is required because we are in a planet of physicality. However, that does not denote how sacred and the frequency of prayers themselves. But there's a heavy emphasis on making sure that you pull yourself back, that you learn how to observe things at a distance, all the things that are going on and bring yourself back into balance. It's this dance you're going to have to trial and error as you go, because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of energies that are pulling on you, that are wanting your attention, that are wanting you to pick sides, that are wanting you to also feel like a victim. And you don't have to. That is a choice. Also being mindful that right now, going and speaking about the collective energy, there's a lot of people right now, and because you're sensitive and you're connected to the all, what happens to one happens to the all. Something I kept hearing over and over. Going to back into a conversation about empathy. Yes, you may be observing a lot of people right now that lack a certain emotional depth, that lack a certain empatheticness, they lack a certain empathy. And that really just speaks to where they're at in their journey, and things that it just speaks to where they're at in their journey. But what happens to one happens to the all. It doesn't matter where it happens. We are the collective. The earth is a giant collective. What happens to one person happens to the all. With that being said, because there are this has been a continual energy, and both of these messages are messages that I have been receiving every time I've been pulling cards from this deck. And it's this energy of, we have been in this scavenger, people feeling like they're running out of resources. When people feel like they're running out of resources, and then the tower comes for them literally and wipes their slate clean, everyone reacts to that very differently. Some people, when push comes to shove, it activates their fight or flight, and they can make a nickel turn into $100. Other people, when their backs are against the wall and they're feel like they're running out of resources and their slates have been wiped clean, other people can choose to act out towards others. This can translate as being destructive. Looting was a word that came up. There also are people that take advantage of this energy, that maybe don't actually lack any resources, but take advantage of the chaotic, frantic, running around energy and use that as an excuse for nefarious reasons. I will keep it that way. No matter what happens to you, how you move and how you act from any experience is a choice. I would just be mindful of people who are acting out and who are being destructive, whether that's being verbally destructive or physically destructive to their surroundings or to people, places, or things. Observing that energy, keeping your distance, but knowing that you are protected and you are guided. With that being said, a lot of people right now feel that they are running out of resources, that they have nothing left. And I know I'm going to get a lot of eye rolls, but this is a message that's coming from spirit, and it's about there is more than enough for all. There is more than enough for all. And history has shown time and time again that people rally together in times of tragedy. And so what may be a temporary time of having what appears to be nothing, that's temporary. Community Community will come together. People will come together because we need each other. There is no more of this lone wolf era. That era is done. It is done. It's dead. We have to come together and support each other because we need each other. We literally need each other. The next messages were about holding the vision no matter what you're seeing, keeping that tunnel vision and saying, no, I know what people may say the reality of the circumstances are. I have a vision and I have to stay on it. I have to believe it. Change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. The rain is coming. The purification is coming. And this change, this what often feels like destruction, chaos, things out of control, actually is a huge opportunity for you to learn more about yourself, for you to expand more, expand in what resources are, what they mean to you, making do of what you already have. If today you have less than what you had yesterday, what can you do with that still? How can you use what you have now and create something new for you? Create a new entryway into a different situation. It's also a really big message here about grounding your energy. Big time grounding your energy, connecting with the earth. Connecting with the mycelium network is something that has been coming up for me as well. Connecting in with the mushroom frequency, which are connected to the root system. Connecting with the trees. Right now, and this is another message that I have been receiving continuously, we are at the peak of the paradox. We are at the peak of the paradox. If there was any theme that I could put on this year, we are at the peak of the paradox. That's very tense. That's very explosive. Before the new year started, I was feeling the energy of, I was feeling it build up, and that energy is still here and is going to continue for a little while. The energy in the air and the ethers, due to the polarities being at the most height that they've ever been at, the air, the ethers is ripe for explosions. That is also why it is more imperative than ever to be mindful of your energy, to understand what your energy feels like, and to discern the difference of between what someone else is feeling and what you actually feel within yourself, and to know what is true for you. This is a time to be very clear about your principles, about your morals, about your ethics. What is your ethical code? What do you stand for? If you feel like everything is out of control, Spirit is saying this is the perfect time to surrender. The favorite thing we all love to hear, surrender. Know that you have free will, but there is a divine timing at everything that's playing out right now. Divine timing. Everything is exactly on time as it should be. Everything looks exactly how it is intended to look right now. This is a big divine orchestration for this specific period of time right before our next major era. Where can you let go and trust fall with Spirit? When is the last time that you trust fell with spirit? Can you trust that no matter what, you are going to be provided for and you are going to have everything that you need, even if you don't feel comfortable? Are you still going to have everything that you need? Have you had everything that you need on some level, even if it wasn't what you wanted, but were your basic needs met? On a, oh, thank you. There's also a message here about ancestors. Wisdom from your ancestors, messages coming through from your ancestors. There's been a lot about connecting into what we would consider the native energies, the native collective, the ancient collectives of the earth. Aborigine is something I'm hearing, but many different, from many different times, many different cultures across many different parts of the world. This is a great time to connect with your ancestors and learning more about your lineage, especially if that is something you are feeling called to do. Your ancestors have a lot of wisdom to share with you. And also the fact that you, right now, your experiences, you are going to be someone's ancestors. We are going to be someone's ancestors one day. And we already have acquired a lot of wisdom, knowledge through our experiences, and we will continue to do so. And we will have so much insight, wisdom, and gifts to give to the future generations. One day we're going to be guides to our future family and the generations. When we are on the other side, we will be acting as guides. I asked on a cosmological scale what was going on. And the message from the cosmos was we have solar light upgrades, um, solar plexus chakra, inner fire, willpower. To me, this was about these times will show you who you really are. And a lot of that ties back into fight or flight. But taking your power back from fight or flight, changing the narrative around fight or flight. We can see fight or flight as a bad thing. Right now, in our world, there's so many things coming at us at once, so much data that's coming at us more than it ever has. There's so many different sensory things coming at us all the time, at our nervous systems. This is time where we fight back by stabilizing ourselves. We fight back with learning how to quiet down the noise by listening to ourselves, by listening to nature, the sounds, the messages that are coming at us, the messages that our guides are sending to us all the time, but there's so many things in the chatter going on that it's distracting us. This is the revolution of learning how to I know the world is blaring at me static noise. In this moment, I choose to come back to myself and call power back to myself. Also have secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, initiations. This period that we're going through is a giant initiation. These events that we're experiencing back to back to back to back to back, they are initiations individually and collectively. Things that have been hidden from us for a long time, for eons. We're going to start learning about them. They're going to start to unfold, and it's necessary, and we have to learn about these things so that we can understand our true history in the cosmos, because we don't really know, and we haven't been taught the truth. There's been a lot of things that have been covered from us, but that has been very necessary because this has been us. This has been us in the cosmos. We have been this baby on earth, really sheltered from the rest of the cosmos, while the entire cosmos supports us, loves us, respects what we're doing here on earth. But we are like these little babies that don't know where we are, and need, and we feel like we need all this help, and we need, I need. We're these little babies. We are going to start learning about a lot of things, and not a lot of it is going to feel great, some of it, and some of it will. It Everyone is going to receive it differently and in their own time. And for some people there will be denial, but understand that everyone is at a different place in their own journey, and information can be presented to everyone, and what someone chooses to do from that point on is their choice. Arcturian light codes. Evolutionary downloads recalling power of future thinking. Now for me, this tied into after the destruction, after a tragic event, after tragic occurrences. What can we learn from this? What can we learn from this tragic situation? And how can we improve on this? How can we make things better for the future? And for me, this was coming up with people right now who have revolutionary ideas. These are revolutionary leaders on this earth, people who would not be considered conventional leaders. These are people with forward, future ways of thinking that's way ahead of its time, and maybe they didn't have the resources to connect them to the resources that could bring their God-given ideas into reality. But these people, there are a lot of people who have been doing things behind the scene, and there's going to be more people that haven't yet had the opportunity that are going to start connecting with community and are really going to feel inspired through these different tragic and catastrophic events. There are people that are going to receive divine inspiration on to make sure that these things do not happen to people again in the future. How can we prevent destruction on this grand of a scale for the future? How can we minimize that? How can we safeguard things for the future? That's a message I was receiving. And at the bottom of this deck here, we have Sword of Light. Heavy, 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 heavy emphasis on protection. I feel the reason why this message came through over and over through different decks of protection is that a lot of people, simply put, feel very scared right now. A lot of people feel terrified to be here, terrified of a future for themselves and for their families. And spirit, your guides, the angelic beings, and also star beings of the cosmos want to let you know that you are protected. The angels wanted to say specifically the importance of cutting things that don't feel right out of your energetic field, because right now, and it's not new, it's just a continuation, we are in a spiritual warfare, and there's people and places and things that wish to keep you imprisoned. There's physical demons, and there's also demons in your mind. And as soon as you recognize those one by one, you can call your power back. And you were designed for this. It is your innate power. You are much more stronger and capable than you can even possibly fathom. You might not like it, everything that's going on, but surrendering to the process, because this is right now, but it won't always be this way. There's so much love and support, and there's so much resources available to you right now. Ask for help. Don't feel like you're burdening anyone. Ask for help, because there are so many people who know you and who don't know you that would love to help you. Just ask. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. I love you, and please take care of yourselves. And if you feel called to, say a prayer for the world. I'll talk to you guys next time.